Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 75 of A Year of Change. Today I'm going to touch on two things, one of which is not really diet or food related, but sort of follows suit with the main thing. There is an ad that was put out by Yves Saint Laurent, which is in the, I don't know the name of the magazine. Anyway, Elle, in the UK. They put an ad, or they tried to put an ad into the magazine, and it has been banned in the ad. So you figure, okay, it's got to be something pretty bad, like people are cooking babies, or they're doing crack, or there's something wrong in the ad. So apparently what this is that the model in the ad, there's standards, it's ASA, I don't remember what it stands for, Advertising Standards something. Has said that the model in the ad is too thin. Unhealthily thin, I think, is the actual phrase that they used. So they've decided to ban it. Now, I'm not going to put the ad up because it's an ad for someone else and I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for it. But I'll put a link below where you can actually take a look at the story and see the ad and everything else. Now, in the ad, the person in there is very thin. But the contention, I guess, is that they're saying this is irresponsible if we let this go through because not even that she's too thin, but that she's unhealthy in the ad. And, of course, we've had this discussion many times before, and I've brought this up before, and the first thing in my head was, okay, would they do the same thing if they said no, that they're unhealthily fat? And it doesn't take much fat for us to be unhealthy. I'm unhealthy. You're unhealthy. We're all unhealthy. That's why we're trying to do this. And I really don't think that they would. And I know it's sort of odd, me sort of defending someone who's thin, but this isn't really regarding the model or the ad or anything else. It's just that they've decided to look at it and say this is an unhealthy weight. We'll put it that way, whether it's fat or thin. And yet there are still those campaigns out there that are saying, oh, no, we should really promote all the people that are, like my size. And we really shouldn't. And so it's sort of tipping one way or the other. There's one argument where you're saying, okay, well, people don't want to see fat people on magazines because they're gross. And then people say, well, people don't want to see skinny people on magazines because they're gross. And I just find it weird that they would ban this ad, but they wouldn't ban another ad if someone was, the same amount of weight that this person's missing from their body, if they added that to a healthy person. I really think, let's say, for example, we'll just use 50 pounds for this, just not 50 pounds underweight, I don't think. But we'll say if they were to say, okay, this person is 30 pounds underweight and that's probably 20, 30 pounds underweight in the ad. All right. And they're saying, no, we're banning it because it's irresponsible and it promotes an unhealthy lifestyle. Fine. If you took that same person that was a normal weight and put an extra 20 or 30 pounds on them and then said, we're banning that because they're too fat. It's promoting they're unhealthily overweight. That way we'll use the exact same terms. Or unhealthily thin and unhealthily fat. So we'll do that. If they said this person is unhealthily fat and we don't want them promoting that, the world would go fucking bananas. People would be protesting. There would be petitions all over the place. There would be special interest groups that are involved in it and everything else. No one seems to really make that connection. I've said it before. I'm sort of an all-around kind of person that, if you're going to criticize one thing, you have to accept the fact that you're going to be able to criticize everything. And whether it's underweight or overweight, these are really the same issue. This is really the same issue, I should say. So, them banning this ad, and I'm sure they've banned other ads before for, ridiculous reasons, whether it's too much sex or too much violence or whatever it is. But banning an ad because the person is too thin, I think is, not that it's a slippery slope to anything. I just think that if this had gone the other way, if this was someone who was 20 or 30 pounds overweight and they said, no, we're banning the ad because they're unhealthily fat, then just the world would be in an uproar. Because we have an entire section of advertising aimed towards people that look like me, people that are fat. was going to say plus size, but that's ridiculous. No, we're fat. So if you can look at this and say, well, no, it's okay if they're, 30 pounds fatter or 50 or 100 or 200 or whatever it is. But if they're underweight, no, that's unhealthy and we have to ban it. That's fucking ridiculous. And it sort of goes along with kind of the second thing I was going to bring up. But when you look at this, it's, number one, it's an ad. And I understand that there are people out there that are going, oh, yes, but, it's people have to strive for this, impossible version of beauty. That's not what it is. It's an ad. Yes, it's for a designer, but it's an ad. If you look at every single ad and go, oh my God, I have to look like that, otherwise I can't buy this product, well, then you're an idiot. And while I can understand that you're looking at something going, oh, I really wish I looked like that, I think the common sense aspect of you can look at it and go, yeah, their thigh is the same size as their wrist. That's not healthy. Now, I'm not saying that, it's not justified. The person in the ad does look underweight. So, I mean, take that as you will. But my contention isn't whether or not this person is underweight or overweight. It's the fact that they're banning an ad based on their weight. And I can't see that it would ever be allowed for them to go the other way. Because then it was basically saying, if it's a plus size model, we're banning it because it's unhealthy. If they were to do that and said, you know what, we are only allowing people to post ads with people that are in the healthy weight range, period, across the board, I would sign that. I would say, you know what, good, fine. If you can get doctors to look at it and say, okay, for this height, this is what the person should weigh. Within reason, not obviously it's like, yeah, they're nothing but fat, but they still weigh the same. No. If they were to look at it and say, this is what we need people to see as healthy, then fine. Then all the super, super thin people and all the super, super fat people would not be in there. So I know I'm dashing my dreams of being a runway model, but it's worth it for you guys. So if they were to say that and say, we're going to have a healthy weight range, that this is what people can use for advertising now, just so that it's realistic and it's attainable and it's promoting a healthy image, fine. I would be more than willing to sign that and I would support it. But just saying, well, no, if you're this weight or below, we're banning it, everything else is good. That's bullshit. And it goes towards this, I guess, a lack of responsibility on the consumer's part, that they look at it and go, oh, well, I can't control myself, so I need to look like this, so I need to get, change my life to match this. And it's sort of pushing so much responsibility on the person who's creating it, in this case, a designer, that there has to be something on the other end to say, no, this is part of your responsibility as well, is to look at this and say, oh, nice, jeans or perfume or whatever it was that they were advertising, I really don't know. Instead of saying, oh my God, I really want this. I want to look like this, I should say. And I understand that advertising is geared towards that, so that it's not a matter of saying our product is the best. Advertising is geared towards, if you use our product, you will live this lifestyle. But come on, people, use your fucking brain. So this sort of goes hand in hand with a second topic that I saw today. And this is something in Canada, which, again, I don't agree with. And I quit smoking years and years and years ago. And even when I was smoking, it was one of those things that, yes, I'm quitting because I know it's bad for me and everything else. Canadian government has just ordered 3 big tobacco companies to pay out over $15 billion to families that have lost family members from smoking or whatever. Now, I've never agreed with this. Everybody I know it's very, against what the popular opinion is, that, oh my God, big tobacco is evil. Everyone has known what the dangers of smoking are. They've known, or are, and yes, were. Anyway, everyone knows what the dangers of smoking are. They've known since, smoking was considered still cool. They knew when I was a kid. They knew when my parents were kids. They've known pretty much since day one. It's smoke. No matter what it's made from, it's smoke. It's not good for you. We all know this. We have always known this. No one ever decided, you know what? No, they're cigarettes. I'm breathing smoke into my lungs, but it's not bad for me. And if you did, you're stupid. Anyway, us stupid? Did I just say you're us stupid? You're us stupid. Anyway, taking away from the gravity of the situation. Everyone has always known. We've had, this isn't even including the little warning packages, which up in Canada take up pretty much the entire cigarette pack. There's like rotten teeth, and there's gross, disgusting lungs, which you can never really tell if they're diseased or not. Throat cancer and all these really graphic images and everything else. And it's just plastered all over everything. We've had warnings on cigarettes for decades. Everyone has known what the problems are. And to go to these products and say, look, you are promoting an unhealthy product. People have died from it. They didn't know. And that's what the argument is. That's why they were awarded this. Is that families are going, well, we didn't know it was bad for us. You didn't tell us that it was bad. There's warnings on everything. On every single cigarette pack that's out there. There have been warnings on there since day one, pretty much. Since I was a kid anyway. And to say that you didn't know it was bad for you is bullshit. I don't care who you are. I understand that if you've lost someone from smoking, yes, it's a horrible thing. It's very sad and everything else. But they knew. You know. We all know that smoking is bad for us. This is why people quit. People have been trying to quit for decades. We know it's an addictive drug. That's why it's so hard to quit. We've all seen the people, or if you're a smoker, or were a smoker like I was, you know when you're like, oh, I need to fucking smoke, because it's an addictive drug, and you get antsy, and you get cranky, and you start punching people left and right and saying, give me your cigarettes. But to go to the company that makes it and say, this is your fault, why all these people have died and why you've made them all sick, you need to pay out. I've never agreed with. I've agreed with the fact that, yes, this is their product, and that it is causing people to die by the thousands. However, it's not mandatory to go buy them. Just like alcohol and everything else, we made the decision to go and buy them. We made the decision to smoke them. And in some cases, we made the decision to stop buying them. And they're not allowed to advertise. They're not allowed to, I mean, they don't really need to, actually. But, I mean, there's it's sort of swung the other way now. There's such, a strong aversion to smoking nowadays that I'm surprised that they're actually still in business. But, I mean, Canada's actually just passed a law where they aren't even allowed to sell menthol cigarettes here anymore. Starting Canada Day, I think. No, wait, that's a different thing. That actually is completely unrelated, but I will put this in there as well. There's no tax on what they call feminine hygiene products. So stuff for your lady bits, we won't be paying taxes. Well, I never did buy them, but we won't be paying taxes on them after July 1st. Which part of me going, no, that makes sense. And then I was like, don't we pay taxes on toilet paper? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Getting back to the smoking thing. This sort of goes hand in hand. I know it seems a little disjointed here and not really connected, but this goes hand in hand along with the advertising thing in that they're saying, I understand there is some corporate responsibility. Like if you're putting lead in your paint for children's toys, then yes, something needs to be done. However, if there was a company out there that said, hey, we make lead paint filled toys, don't fucking buy it for your kids. Same thing with the cigarettes. I mean, we've all known and we've all been very, very, very much aware of the health risks for it. I don't agree with the fact that they should have to pay out billions of dollars to these people that they knew that it was bad for them when they were doing it. That would be the equivalent, and here's where the connection is coming in. This would be the equivalent of you and I going to any fast food place, pick your favorite because it doesn't matter which one, and filing a class action lawsuit because we're all fat. And that's what pisses me off about it. It isn't the fact that, they're saying, oh, this is... I guess what makes me mad is the fact, I should really clarify this first, is the fact that they're looking at something that was not forced on them. Then your argument might be, oh, but advertising is so strong, it's an ad. You don't have to say, oh, I need it right now. But they've purchased a product on their own. They've made that decision on their own. They've decided to use it. You can't then go 30 years later to someone and say, this is your fault that I did this. We're adults. 5-year-olds do that. Adults don't. And I think it's ridiculous. But as I say, this would be the same thing as me going to any fast food place and suing them and saying, it's your fault that I'm fat. And people have done it. So don't think that, this is going way out there. People have tried. But the thing is, I've had to go to the restaurant. I've had to give them my money. I've had to go and sit down and eat the food and then go back for more or whatever it is that I do. It's like suing the maker of the fork because I'm fat. It's no one's fault but my own. I can't blame advertising for saying, oh, but you make everything look so good. No, it's not their fault. I can't blame. And when I was smoking, I would never blame a cigarette company by saying, oh, it's their fault that they make these so addictive. No, it's my fault for being a moron and not quitting when I had the chance and, finally being able to do it. And then going back to square one, same thing with these ads, is that they're saying, well, this is your fault. This is an unhealthy weight. No, it's the people that are going, and this isn't, I'm not going to really touch on eating disorders because that is a whole different thing. I'm not talking about the people that psychologically feel the need to do that. I'm talking about the people that can look at that and understand that the person is underweight. And when you look at something like that, it's the same thing having that responsibility saying, well, we can't put this ad up here. We're going to ban it because you have a responsibility to the consumer. They don't. They aren't advertising a diet pill. If it was a diet pill and they were saying, you can look like this, you're like, yeah, then that's a little iffy. But whatever the ad is for, like jeans or perfume or a dress or whatever it is, I don't know if it's a dress because in the ad, she's laying on the floor. I'll put a link up so you can see the ad and make your own decision that way. But this sort of corporate responsibility for us, I think, is ridiculous. We are adults. We can go, we can make our own decisions. And for those of you out there that are going, yes, but what about our kids? We have to protect our kids. That's your job as a parent. It's not the job of an advertiser. It's not the job of a company. And you can complain and say, well, they're bombarded with ads all the time from movies and TV and everything else. Again, that's your job. Watch what they're watching. And if you say, well, we can't watch our kids all the time, you're supposed to. You're a parent. And I know it's easy for me to say because I don't have kids, but I have almost all my friends. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, all but one of my friends have kids. And they manage to parent their kids just fine. They don't overprotect them. They parent them. And they're very good at it, I think. Their kids are very well adjusted. They're very happy. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there because otherwise this is going to keep going on. And we've gone for, only 18 minutes. Okay, not too bad. In my head, I'm thinking I've been going on for a very, very long time. So, in short, this was sort of an unrelated rant, but it did sort of bring in the weight thing because I think that's just ridiculous, the fact that they're sort of making a cutoff point and saying, okay, once you get to this weight, anything below that, we're not going to let you advertise, but you could be 300 pounds and we'll put you on because we can't say that's unhealthy because people will get mad. That's bullshit. The smoking thing was just sort of unrelated. I can put a link up to that one as well. I suppose it's sort of health related. So we can do that if you want. I still don't agree with it though. And I still use my little, me suing a fast food place because I'm fat as a good analogy for it. Because that's how I view it. I said right from the very, very beginning when we started this, 75 days ago actually. Now I just realized that this is 75. That's sort of a milestone. We'll wait till 100. Fuck it. So back when we first started this, and I had said, this is our responsibility. We're the reason why we're fat. We can't blame, sugar, and we can't blame, cheese. We can't blame any of that stuff. We can't blame, same thing with this. We can't blame advertisers, and we can't blame the companies. They make a product, no matter how dangerous it is. For example, I know I said I was going to finish this off, but I have one more thing, and this is a good analogy, I think, in keeping with, dangerous products and things like that. The little skill saw, the circular saws, little ones, you can say, well, you're making a dangerous product. It's like, yes, but so are saws and hammers and everything else. You couldn't sue Black & Decker for saying, I hammered my thumb. You're using the product in the way it was intended. There is some responsibility on the consumer. Same thing with cigarettes. We all know that they're creating a product that is horrible for us. We know it's a product that will eventually kill us. We know it's a product that gives us cancer. We know it's a product that just is bad all the way around. But we still buy it. So either to all the governments out there, either make it illegal or leave it the fuck alone. I don't even smoke anymore, and I still would defend them because I think it's ridiculous. It's the same thing with alcohol. Either make it illegal or leave it the fuck alone. And here in Canada, where they've now banned menthol, the reason behind that, by the way, is because they say, well, if we ban menthol, then kids won't start smoking because kids don't start smoking unless it's menthol. I don't understand the logic behind it. It was a matter of saying we can't sell flavored tobacco anywhere. So because that's what it is that is getting kids to start smoking, is the fact that they go, oh, I would smoke, but only if it was mint flavored. So it's bullshit. Anyway, it's that false sense of security that we go, oh, this will fix everything and we won't have to worry about our kids smoking anymore. Yeah, you will. So they're just going to say, okay, well, there's no menthol. Well, fuck it. I'm still going to have cigarettes. Anyway, this is going to go off on a whole other topic now, because now I'm thinking, you know what, just to address that, it's not the menthol that's getting them going, and the fact that, like, here we can't sell cigarettes to anyone under 19. So they're still getting them. So whether they're menthol or regular cigarettes, they're still going to get them. But anyway, so either make it illegal or leave it alone, all the way around. But going back time and time again, and this is actually, the tobacco thing was a lawsuit that they filed 15 years ago in 1998. And even then, we knew it was bad. Everybody did. It's just that we wanted the tobacco companies to go, yeah, we know it's bad. And they were like, aha, now I can blame you for everything because I don't have to take responsibility for my own actions. Anyway, it's making me even more and more angry. So, I'll put a link up there for the tobacco story as well, just because I think it's one of those things that is just, eh. I'll put a link up there for the ad as well. That's on BBC is where I found that, because it's in LUK. L-E-L-L-E, like L as in she. It's French. Anyway, that's the name of the magazine. In the UK, their advertising thing, they've banned it. I don't know what they're going to do in the States or in Canada. So I'll put a link up there for that. Unfortunately, they disabled the comments on it because I started immediately commenting and it was locked and I couldn't do anything. So, hence why I'm here. But I'll put those two links up there and give me your opinion on it. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if you think I'm a horrible human being for saying that tobacco shouldn't be paying out money for dead people. And more importantly, how you look at that advertising thing. You know, whether you think that there should be sort of a weight range that they should stick with, or say, no, if you're going to allow, you know, plus size, then you have to allow minus size. Is there a minus size? I think it just goes to 0. There must be a minus at some point. Actually, I think that was one of the things we talked about a long time ago, that the different designers and stuff, like a size 10 for one person is like a size 6 for another and a size 14 for another, so it's kind of wonky all the way around. But anyway, maybe they should do that. That will be another one. Standardized sizes for women. Men have size. We have large. And that's pretty much it. So let me know what your comments are, or your opinions are, in the comments. And, you know, because it's interesting to hear different points of view from people. And this is going to be something that's probably going to happen again. And where you're having one band ad simply because of someone's weight, it is only going to be a matter of time before someone decides, you know what, we're going to ban that because they're too fat as well. And it'll be interesting to see, because this one has really garnered support from people. And it would be interesting to see how the fat ban would go with people. Personally, I think a giant hole would swallow the earth, because people just go batshit. But in the meantime, let me know what you think. But for right now, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. Forgot what I was going to say there. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.